Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. My brothers and my sisters, in this video I am going to continue to explain the biography of Prophet S.W.A, where I will be talking about the story of the elephants, like did they demolish the Kaaba or not. So my brothers and my sisters, in the last video we have talked about the digging of the Zamzam well. But in this video we are going to talk about did they did they demolish the Kaaba or not with the elephants. So my brothers and my sisters, the king of the Yemen had seen the Arabs the had seen the Arabs that going to the Makkah, the Kaaba for pilgrimage. So after seeing this, so he built a large church in order to attract the Arab pilgrims to the exclusion of Makkah. A man from Kinah tribe understood his motive. Therefore, he entered the church under the cover of the night, then screaming excrement on its front wall. When, uh, when Abrar learned of this, he became enlarged and enraged and led a great army of 60,000 warriors to demolish the Kaaba. He chose the biggest elephant for himself. His army included between 9 to 13 elephants. He continued marching until he reached a place called Al-Mukmas. There he mobilized his army and prepared his elements to enter the Makkah. When he reached the Muhassir valley between the Muzdalifah and the Mina, the elephant knelt down and refused to go forward. Whenever they directed it to the north, south, or east, the elephant moved quickly, but when they directed towards the Kaaba in the west, it knelt down. Meanwhile, Allah sent birds in flight upon them. Allah sent birds in flight upon them, pelting them with the stones of baked clay, so that they became like scattered chaff. These birds were like swallows and sparrows, each carrying three stones in the one on its beak and two in its claw. The stones hit Abrah's men, but their limbs had killed them. A large number of Abrah's soldiers were killed in this way, and the others fled helter skelter, and died at other places. Abraham himself developed an infection that required his fingertips to be cut off. When he reached Sana, he was in a miserable state and died soon after. The Quraysh fled for their lives to the hills and the mountain tops. When the enemy was routed, they returned the home safely. The elephant incident took the place in the month of Al-Muharram, 50 or 55 days before the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which corresponded to the late February or early March 571 CE. It was the favor from Allah to His Prophet and his family. It could legitimately be regarded as divine auspicious sign of the light to come and accompany the advent of the Prophet and his family. In contrast, Jerusalem had suffered the atrocities of Allah's enemies. So the news of the elephant incident reached the most distant corners of the civilized world. Ethiopia maintained strong ties with the Romans, while the Persians, on the other hand, were watchful of the strategic changes looming on the socio-political horizon, and soon come to occupy Yemen. The Roman and Persian empires made up the powerful civilized world at that time. The elephant incident attracted the world's attention to the sanctity of Allah's house and showed that this house has been chosen by Allah for its holiness. It followed then, if any of its people claimed the prophethood, it would conform with the outcome of the elephant incident, and would provide a justifiable explanation for the ulterior divine wisdom that lay behind the backing polytheists against the Christian in a manner that went beyond the cause and affected the formula. Abdul Muttalib had 10 sons: Al-Haritha, Al-Zubair, Abu Talib, Abdullah, Hamza, Abu Lahab, Al-Ghidaf, Maqwam, Safar, and Al-Abbas. So some say that he had 11 sons, and some say that he has 13 sons. So my brothers and my sisters, he also had 6 daughters who were Hakim, also called as Al-Bayda. Bara, and he has two more daughters. So now, my brothers and my sisters, now I want to talk about the Abdullah, the father of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the son of Abdul Muttalib. So my brothers and my sisters, the father of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Abdullah, his mother was Fatima, daughter of Amr bin Al-Addah bin Imran bin Makhzum bin Yakha bin Murayah. Abdullah was the brightest of Abdul Muttalib's son, the most chaste and the most loved. He was also the son towards the whom the deviation arrows pointed to be slaughtered as a sacrifice at the Kaaba. When Abdul Muttalib had 10 sons, they replaced maturity. He disclosed to them his secret which they accepted obediently. Their names were written and on deviation arrows and given to the guardian of their most beloved gods. The arrows were shuffled and drawn. The arrows were shuffled and drawn, and the arrow showed that it was Abdullah who was to be sacrificed. Abdul Muttalib then took the boy to the Kaaba with a razor to slaughter him. However, the Quraysh, his uncles from the Makhzum tribe and his brother Abu Talib tried to advise him against it. He then sought their advice as regards his vow. They suggested that he would summon a woman diviner to judge the matter. She ordered the devotion arrows should be drawn again, but including 10 camels and Abdullah. She added that drawing the lots of should be repeated with 10 more camels every time the arrow showed Abdullah. The action was thus repeated until the number of camels amounted to 100. At this point, the arrow showed the camels. Consequently, they were all slaughtered instead of his son. They slaughtered the camels were left for anyone to eat from, human or animal. This incident produced a change in the amount of blood money usually accepted in Arabia. Earlier it had been 10 camels, but after this event it was increased to 100. Later on, this was approved of in Islam. It was reported that the Prophet said, I am offspring of the slaughtered two, meaning Ismail alayhi salam and Abdullah. Abdul Muttalib chose Amina, daughter of Wahib bin Abd Manaf bin Zurah bin Khilab, as a wife for his son Abdullah. In the light of ancestral lineage, she had an eminent standing, rank to nobility of position and descent. Her father was the chief of the Bani Zara, who was the attributed great honor. They were married in Mecca, and soon after Abdullah was sent by his father to buy the dates. Abdullah was sent by his father Abdul Muttalib to buy the dates in the Medina where he died. In another version, Abdullah went to Syria on a trade journey and died in Medina on his way back. So he was buried in the house of an Nabiga al-Tradi. He was 25 years old when he died. Most historians state that his death was 2 months before the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some others said that his death was 2 or more months after the Prophet's birth. When Amina was informed of her husband's death, she commemorated his memory in a most heart-rending eulogy. Abdullah left very little wealth, 5 camels, a small number of goats, a woman servant called Aman, who would later serve as Prophet's nursemaid. So my brothers and my sisters, this is all for this video, and I seek forgiveness from Allah if I have committed any mistakes while explaining the biography of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So my brothers and my sisters, in the next video, I am going to talk about the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's birth and the 40 years prior to prophethood of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So my brothers and my sisters, this is all for this video. Jazakallah Qairah for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.